Hi everyone, and welcome back to the weekly Round the World from Aries to Pisces. Before we begin, the astronomy right now that is visible to the human eye with the telescope is Pleiades in a cluster of the seven sisters, is what it's called, in the sign of Taurus. What does that mean? It means that our ancestors are watching us, and that it is a reminder to all of us that God made the stars, the sun, the moon, etc. It's all encompassing. Make a wish, seventh heaven. It's a prime opportunity right now for all of us to begin again. Begin anew. All right, let's go. Around the world from Aries to Pisces. Let's go. Aries. The Three of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles. So you're working really hard, but I'm going to tell you right now, you have competition at work, perhaps, right? Or you're arguing with, some coworkers about what you don't like, what they're not doing. Maybe your Aries working harder than the rest, and it's not fair. Perhaps your coworkers find you engaging yet argumentative. I feel some of you are on, like, 3 out of the 5 people are like, okay, I'm on board. Maybe you're putting together a blueprint, plans, new work plans, right? Or some of you, I see this as the Three of Pentacles, right? They're looking down at what would be known as maybe blueprints to a home. Someone could be building a home and there's arguments with the builders, the inspection, the way people are working. Some of you are having your annual review, and it could be you're opposing some of what they're saying, or your boss or bosses. I feel that it's driving you to work harder, and harder, not smarter. So I feel that if there's opposition at the workplace, I feel that you should probably work smarter, not harder. Instead, I think that you're taking the road of, I need to work harder because, maybe I have a 3-year plan and I want to get to my goal. My goal is 3 years. So I'm working my ass off, right? All right, let me use my new deck, the Raw Truth Tarot. It'll be in the comment section below for purchase. I'll put it on there in this week. Okay, let's go. So let's see what's happening here. What is going on for Aries? Strung out or strung along? That's totally what I see here. It's like you're working your ass off, you're strung out, and you're pissed off because maybe you're not being seen for the value that you bring to the table. And if it is personal, same thing. You have competition, you have argumentativeness in a relationship that others are involved in, and I feel it's either I'm strung out or I've been strung along and I'm not dealing with it anymore. I'm not dealing, for sure. Aries, stay strong. Okay? All right, let's go to Taurus. Time stampers, thank you. Taurus, what's happening? We're turning the page. What we're seeing in the world right now with what the effects of let's say the war, is the opposition, where Spirit is asking that we all stay in our own lane and find the opposition not a part of our world. It is a part of our external world, but not to take that in our inner world. Does that make sense? Taurus. You know, because we're absorbing that energy is what I mean. Let's not absorb that energy. Okay, Six of Swords, Taurus, Page of Pentacles, and Page of Swords. I immediately felt we're dealing here, Taurus, with perhaps 2 kids or grandkids where you're taking them on vacation, you're going on a boat trip or a cruise, or you are teaching children lessons of life, lessons regarding perhaps the ability to save money, to make money, you know, what's your plan ahead? You could be having children. I mean, I know these are pages, so I'm looking at, you know, we're still in high school, we may be sophomore, junior, something like that in high school, and we are teaching our kids about the value of money. We're asking our kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, let's put a plan in place. Sophomore year is usually when you start looking for college applications. Some of you applying, your kids are applying for a scholarship, which is great. I also feel if there's kids here that are not working, it's time to go get a job. That could be the influence, is you need to go get a job. If you're dealing with an external person in terms of, okay, I'm leaving a relationship because perhaps it's an immature vibe. Okay, that's too many. But the top of the card, I'm going to say, I do want to show you, is use intuition. Yeah, there's too many. Let's keep going. I just want to take one, Spirit. Just one card for Taurus, please. Okay, Taurus, your energy is totally scattered. When this happens, you're really scattered right now. And I feel it's mentally, you're like scatterbrained. Maybe you're just worried about what job is next. Maybe you're moving from one job to another. You could have just quit and you're worried about it. Let's see. It wasn't me. Someone's blaming you for something, or one of your kids is blaming the other. Sometimes, right? Someone like could be saying, I'm just saying, I heard it. One of the kids, you know, took some cash from the, you know, the cash bowl, right, or whatever. Didn't think anyone was going to notice. I mean, we don't adhere to stealing, if you will, but it could be also stealing one's intellectual properties if it's not stealing of money. Someone could have stole your job. Okay, I want to take one card on the 2 pages because it is an immature energy. Let's go. Let's see. The World. So someone did get cut out of a relationship. Maybe someone said, hey, whatever you're blaming me for, that wasn't me. I didn't say it. I didn't do it. Something like that. I didn't say that. I didn't steal that. I wasn't the one that cut you off. Something like that, Taurus. Be mindful of your scattered thoughts that you are weaving stories also in your mindset. If you need clarity, ask instead of assuming. And if someone's assuming that of you, then say, hey, it wasn't me. Gemini. Four of Pentacles. I really feel Geminis, just hang on to your money, hang on to your thoughts. Okay, so hang in there. Why? Because something's coming in out of the blue. It could be a new job, a new love potential, the energy of perhaps moving suddenly. You find a new place to live. Suddenly you're in love. Some of you, a home could be needing renovation, upgrades, cleaning house. I also see with this Four of Pentacles, right? This guy is hanging on for dear life to his his treasures, right? It's like, no, don't give that away. I want that. So some of you could be cleaning out your homes, your garage, and saying, I really want to take that with me. It's important. It has substance. Whatever you're keeping, whatever treasures you're keeping, has memories attached to it, has knowledge attached to it. If you're saving your money, it's good time to save money. Maybe you're looking into moving out, moving on. Let's see what it is. Raw Truth Tarot for Geminis. Baggage. You're clearing out your baggage. It's beautiful. And this is the time to do it. It is. This is the time to release everything that no longer serves you. And that doesn't mean just in your home or basement if you have, or the yard cleanup. You could be having your landscapers clean, all the shrubs and bushes. You could be trimming things, getting things really clean. That also includes your pics on your phone. Clean up your pics. Clean up the apps that no longer, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe, look at your bank and statement that says your reoccurring subscriptions. There are hidden stuff, there is hidden stuff that you're going to clean up. And again, there are certain things that you're not going to let go of. But some of the things that you're holding on to has energy of your past. That's why cleaning up your phone is as important as cleaning up your home. Cancers. We have Jupiter in Cancer, which is a very advantageous time, but it is also a time for us all to be maybe overly emotional, very sensitive. People are doing and or saying stuff that may trigger some memories. Cancers. You got to let it out. Let it out. If there's some things, emotions that you have not let out, it's time to let them release. That's why we cry, right? We cry because it's just overwhelming. Six of Cups. Some of you are very upset and overly emotional about someone who has left your life. Knight of Pentacles. So this relationship was like you're dealing with someone like a slow roll. Like nothing's happening. There's no romance. It's not growing. Relationships need to grow in order to sustain, just like anything else, right? If we want a flower to blossom or our plants to grow, we need to water them. And this relationship did not have that going on here. So you are overly emotional for sure. Some of you, okay? Missing someone, but you've got to come to terms, and I feel that you are. Some of you are totally coming to terms with the fact that there is no growth in this relationship. Someone could be just like taking their sweet time, handing you, telling you what you want to hear instead of proving how much you mean to them, and or vice versa. Yeah. I feel it's time to let go and to take a risk elsewhere. Wow. Who had this? Well, Aries. Strung out or strung along. And this for you is totally different. If you are dealing with an Aries, then you can look at their, go look at their read, listen to their read. But honestly, it is different because I do feel this is engaging in a relationship that has totally strung you out and strung you along. Why should you be strung along when someone's not willing to take a risk on you? And this is, like I said, Jupiter is in Cancer. It's time to grow. It's time to get over yourself and or people that don't see you as, as the real deal. And vice versa. If you're dealing with someone who's like, in your midst of a soul contract, that's a karmic who is teaching you to either take the risk and move on, or take the risk and, show me that you really care. But I feel that in that situation, Cancers, there is no growth to it. That Knight of Pentacles is taking forever to show you. And you've already feel like you've been slighted. Leo. Four of Swords. Okay, I just heard going to the chapel and I'm going to get married, but someone gets stood up. Oh my God. Oh my God, look at that. All right, so some of you wanting to get married and that's not happening. Someone is going to the chapel to get married and either you're the odd man out or someone else is, right? There could be the third party here, a third person. It could just be, Leo, it could be like your ex is getting married and you're really bummed that you found out that now they're like, there's no way of going back, right? If someone is getting married, I'm sorry, Leo, some of you, it's not happening. You may get left at the altar. But I do feel now that I see these cards, I'm feeling with these two cards, actually these three cards, that there is trouble in paradise. Where perhaps in your marriage, if you are married, right? I feel that there is a place of, we have to set some boundaries. And, I've been asking you for so long, I've been asking you to be aware of the things that hurt my feelings, the actions that you take. Leo, someone is either saying it to you or you're saying it to them. I'm really upset about how, right? We've had this conversation before, over and over again. It's like the boy that cried wolf with this here, where I've been we've had a conversation about, doing a repetitive pattern that's toxic or something of that nature, and you continue to do that. And I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, that I can't speak up. This woman feels like there's no hope. Some of you, if you wanted to get married, it could be that you're one side of you, Leo, or the other person really wants the big wedding, all the family, the big wedding, right? They just want, let's just do it up. Let's do it up. You only get married once, I heard, right? However, someone else is not on the same page with that But I feel the majority of, I'm going to take those too. The majority of you Leos are dealing with someone who consistently either puts you down or hurts you or is still doing the same thing over and over again. So there's some regrets. So she has regrets. The feminine could have a regret, and there could have been, like I said, an ex who regrets not going for it, or you regret not going for it. I feel there came a point in the relationship where it's like you were in the darkness about, is this really going to happen or not? And I feel someone regrets that not happening. Taking someone to the chapel, making the commitment. I feel that some of you out there regret. Now, on the other side of the coin is someone regrets marrying someone else. Someone got out of a relationship, perhaps, right? Got out of a relationship. It was really tough to deal, okay? And then met someone, got married, and now they regret getting married to this person they really wanted when they really wanted you, or vice versa. That would suck, right? Okay, so comment below. Let me know. That one really piqued my curiosity, actually. Right? Because that would suck, right? That's like a forever regret. Not making the right choice. And or not fighting for someone that you really wanted and turning around and, right, regretting that you didn't marry the person you really wanted. Or a commitment, if you will. Sacred, however, for sure. All right, Virgo. Virgos. We're going to take these 3 cards. So, they're stuck. Page of Wands, 6 of Cups, and 7 of Cups. So, you're dealing with a soul-mate relationship, and I'm going to tell you right now, with the 7 of Cups, it's like, all right, someone that you really feel connected to as a soul partner, a soul-mate, you feel is out there dating, has options, is looking. Virgo, I feel some of you feel your ex, someone that you split up with, you'd really like to go back, but I feel like you're hesitant. Some of you may be hesitant because you feel as if they may be better off being with someone who fills all their cups. Or you want to fill their cups. If you are in a relationship, some of you need to be more creative. Get more creative. Take some action. Making dinner with candles. Putting in the time and the effort to allow for romance. The flowers, the candles, a great dinner. I'm going to take 2 for you. Right? Something like that. Putting in the time and the effort. But I do also feel that some of you that have separated from someone, broke it off, whatever, are worried that someone's looking elsewhere. Self-discipline. It's taking every ounce of discipline, Virgo, for you and or someone else to not get back with someone from your past. And I also feel it's almost to an obsessive, where there could have been a constraining order against someone else who was obsessive. So some of you could have a stalker, for sure. I mean, Also, if you're single and dating, Virgo, you got to watch out who you're hooking up with. I'm going to say it because the Page of Wands. Be mindful of who you're hooking up with. Have self-discipline to not just jump because maybe they look good. Some of you could be regretting that happened. Maybe you jumped, you were on, Tinder, and they really looked good, and you went for it. And now there's a constraining order. Someone's obsessive. And we have what? The Eight of Swords. This is also mental anguish. Someone is mentally and or verbally abusive. It's taking every ounce of someone not to break free to perhaps be with you, or someone wants to break free so they can be with the person that they do want to be with. Right? That's rough. Right? To be in love, to be in a committed relationship with someone and then fall in love with someone new. Right? That's rough. Can you love two people? Yes. But I do have to say I feel that love for two people and for everyone is very different. Right? You have to feel the vibration frequency of both people that you're in love with. Right? Torn between two lovers could definitely be what Virgo's dealing with and really wants to get out in order to be free to be with the person they want to be with. Virgo, you've been dealing with a lot. All right, Libra, what's going on? We're going to take these three. Libra, we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. Wow. Wow. So Libra, you're definitely, if you've been waiting for financial freedom, here it is. I love it. Some of you have been received, let's just say, a payout of some sort, whatever it's taxes, inheritance, or you've had money saved, thank God, right, in perhaps, an IRA or mutual funds, what have you. So you're very, very comfortable with your finances, but then here comes even more. And perhaps you weren't waiting for it, you had no idea it was coming, but if you were waiting for it and were hoping that it would come in, it's coming, and it's going to be perhaps much more than you anticipated. Wow, Libra, you're in the money. I love it. You could also be meeting a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn if you're single and wanting to start dating, or you're in the dating world and you finally meet someone who's very stable, very grounded. Someone's a good kisser. Sorry, had to do it. Not sorry, actually. Right? Good kisser, but not tells all. Just the good kisser. All right. You could, Libra, be hard to please and hard to get, or hard to get. But I think it is hard to get. I feel that you're playing hard to get with someone who's going to be your new bae. I love it. You're going to meet someone new. They're financially, emotionally, spiritually. I feel this connection is coming from spirit. I do feel it because there's been a lull in your love life for some of you. Now, I've been reading, for Libra, I've been reading a true soul-to-soul connection coming in for a while now. And I feel divine timing now is showing up in Virgo season. I'm going to take one more. Wow. The Knight of Wands, or King of Wands, sorry. Yeah, someone's coming in with Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn in their chart, and or Leo, Aries, Sag, so that could be their moon and or rising. But it doesn't have to be. This is someone coming in knowing what they want and making the offer stable, committed. This could be a commitment of love and or engagement. If you've been dating someone finally says, okay, let's do this. I want to make that commitment with you, Libra. I do love the King of Pentacles. Airs, I feel that air signs are very connected with earth signs, especially if you're dealing with a Virgo, because Mercury is the ruling planet for both Virgo and Gemini. Say, I know you're a Libra, I got it, but if you have Gemini also in your chart heavily, then that also applies to you. All right, good luck with that, Libra, because I feel like totally life-changing events happening in love and money. I love that. It's about time, right? Okay, Scorpios. Scorpios, what's going on? We just have to take these out like this, because, all right, Seven of Swords, Judgment, Ten of Pentacles, and Four of Swords. I'm going to tell you right now, seriously here, Scorpios, some of you are very hurt about others judging and others talking about the person you want to be with. Someone could have lied, telling you that they're not married, and you find out someone's married. Some of you could be waiting around, hoping, wishing, and praying for someone to get out of their marriage, but to no avail, right? I feel you're waiting, some of you Scorpions have been waiting for someone to become free of a marriage so that you could be with them. And it's really weighing heavily upon you. Others of you are wanting to be with someone for the long haul, for the long term, and you've got others convincing you or talking you out of it. So that could be family, for sure. You could have family talking you out of being in a relationship that you really want. You could have family and or friends, but with the Ten of Pentacles, I feel it's family. I feel your roots. You've been very unhappy without someone in your life here. You've really been going through it. Some of you definitely going through the dark night of the soul, right? Some of you, this could be your moon sign. Scorpio, moon and or. It could be, well, actually it could be any sign. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I feel you're really upset because maybe someone coerced you into getting out of a relationship, and you're upset that you listened to other people and you should have taken your own advice. It's kind of self-discipline. It's taking every ounce of discipline for you not to reach out. Love to love you. That could be very significant. Someone really loves to love you. They love being around you. You exude, and or vice versa. You exude this love that, and maybe someone wanted a commitment to be with you forever. You know what forever is, right? Soul to soul is forever. And I feel that the separation is very difficult to bear. I do have to say it, and I'm sorry, Scorpios, but I feel like you listen to the wrong people. I do. King of Coins, yep. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn played a significant role in deciding for you whether to maybe stay with someone or wait for someone and or commit to someone. of Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And it's very unlike Scorpios to not make their own decisions, but I feel that that Seven of Swords, they played havoc on your mental, right here, mentally on you. Someone really like sold you a bill of goods, you know, on not going back to someone. And now you're, you know, when you left the relationship or they left, it felt really good. And maybe some of you Scorpions used your Scorpion power to talk bad about someone from your past. And now, you know, lo and behold, you're like, I probably should have never done that because now my family and friends don't like this person, or that wasn't really right because you had the judgment there. So someone was talking behind your back, or you were talking behind their back about, you know, I can get over it. I can get over it. I'm not gonna miss them. I could give a crap. You know, they're whatever you said about someone else that you're no longer in a relationship with is now catching up with you karmically. Why? Because you miss them. Okay. Saggies, the Hermit. The Hermit. So with the Two of Cups, I'm like, okay, so guess what? I feel this, let's stay home and chill out. I'll make you dinner. We'll have a couple drinks. And let's get to know each other better. So some of you Saggies are in maybe a fairly new relationship, or some of you are in relationships where you're smart now. You've really gained a lot of wisdom over the years, where it's like, okay, so I'm now going to take things slow with this new person, with this person that I'm really interested in. I want to get to know them. You know, I want to really get to know them. I'm going to say I want to get to know their strengths more than their weaknesses. I want to know what makes this person tick. I want to know what's in what brings them this admiration. Someone's a wise old soul that you're with, and I feel that you admire. You have great admiration and wisdom. You could be, I've said this before to Saggies, old souls for sure. And the ability to not just jump in, like I feel some of you really have this massive attraction for someone, right? It's like, it's very, primal. There's a primal, huge primal attraction to this person that is new in your life. And I feel that you are definitely feeling this person is meant for you. I feel that you already know it. It's like, you know, it's love. Love to love you. But in addition to loving to love you, not only physically, but also mental, the wisdom that you're attaining. Someone's got great life experience. It could for sure be you. It could also be an earth sign that you're dealing with, or a Leo, Virgo, and or whatever sign you're dealing with has great wisdom and strength and is able to say, wait a second, let's have a really romantic dinner. Let's stay home. In addition to, you know, the physicality of the relationship, it's also the strength to say, hey, why don't we just get to know each other, right? Asking those questions that lead to, wow, this is intense. This is a, we started out as lovers and friends that turned into the real deal. Oh my God, Saggies, this is beautiful. And you know what? You know it. Saggies, you know this person is meant for you. Wow. There's like, it's like, um, you know what they say, right? There's shooting stars, there's fireworks. Your July 4th could be like off the chain, but truly, this relationship is going the distance. And I'm so happy for you guys. I cannot tell you how happy I am that you started out maybe as friends. It has escalated into a very sexual relationship, but in the same breath, it shot to the heart. Like, you know this person is your person. Wow. Love to love you has come out a lot. Everything is new. Everything is like, when you're in love, right? This is for all signs. When you're in love, everything is more vibrant, more colorful. You get up in the morning, you're like, oh my God, this is a great day. It's not because they complete you. It's because they see you. When you meet someone, listen, when you meet someone who finally sees you for who you are and accepts you, and you them, and accepts you, and you accept them, that's when we get to the heart of the matter. That's when you know this person has your back, they support you, they also represent you, right? We are who we hang with. Oh, Saggies are in love. Yay, to be a Saggy. Come on. All right. That might have been the best reading for the week. All right, let's go. Capricorns. Not that we need the comparison. 3 of Pentacles reversed, the 8 of Pentacles, and the Strength card that just came out. So this for you, Capricorns, all about, you know what? I got to get down to the nitty gritty. I got to work my butt off. There's something, okay, I feel like you have a goal in mind, but not like, you know, in the distant future, right? I feel like you're really working hard. You are getting seen at your work. So for Capricorns, you're being seen as a hard worker, devoted worker. You put in way above, more and more of what anyone else does, and you're being seen for it. I love that. I mean, hey, who doesn't want to be seen for their hard work? And maybe it's not just the hours that you put in. It's the type of work that you're doing is something that really satisfies you. It could be a very visual, a job that people see you out in the world. It's like you're in the spotlight, but you keep your head down. You're humble. Wow, jailbreak. So, all right, some of you are really young. Some of you are, okay, some of you, this is interesting, have people at your job that are saying, oh my God, how old is so-and-so who you just, let's say, got this job? Or people are now seeing you and they're saying, wait a second, how are they doing this job? Do they even have the experience? They're so young. You're dealing with someone who's very young, or you are very young, and you're showing up to whatever job you do is being seen as, oh my God, who taught this person all of these traits? Sorrow or grief. Okay, for some of you, you had to get out of a relationship that could have been on the brink of a jailbreak. Some of you have someone, I don't think it's you, I feel some of you are really stuck. Maybe some of you are stuck in a relationship or in a job that you want out. And you're not happy. And I don't feel it's just a job. I don't. I feel, Capricorn, some of you are in predicaments in your life where you feel like you're so bound to this, like people feel like in general. I'm bound to this 9-to-5 job because I need money. I'm bound to this relationship because I don't know, like everyone I talk to being single sucks. I'm bound to be grieving because I'm not happy. So, you know, Capricorn, your advice would be to get out of this. Some of you are being seen, and maybe you don't want that. Some of you are seen as the new kid on the block for what you do and how you do it so well, that others are feeling like, oh my God, this is massive competition. Alchemist, yeah. Okay, I am really glad Spirit said, take another card. Because you are the alchemist. And you are able, Capricorn, to turn this around. So turn it around. Whatever you're unhappy with, whatever you're stuck. Some of you maybe got pulled over the weekend. A DUI, I just heard a DUI, or you got a ticket, and that really sucks. But turn it around. That's where the strength comes in. You need to turn your life around in whatever way possible, be that at work, be that in relationships. It's time to alchemize the negativity and the sorrow and the grief of everything that you've been through and turn that into a positive energy. And only you can do it. I mean, you can do it. Not only you can do it, because we all have to learn how to alchemize the energy. Energy is pliable. It's mutable, right? So it's time to use that to your benefit, to your good. Take that negativity, and maybe some of you are using that grief and sorrow and putting it in your work, in your projects, right? Maybe it's time to use that energy for the good. Not just in a job, maybe it's time to create something where you're just working for yourself instead of working for others. Maybe you're really young and people are so jealous because you're so intelligent. You know, intelligence is very intimidating. People are like very intimidated about those who have knowledge. It's borrowed knowledge, right? If you're smart, you know how to make money. You have credentials. Let me know. Aquarius. Death. 7 of Swords. And 6 of Cups. Okay. So, Aquarius, whether you want, hold on. Whether you want to admit you are upset about a relationship that ended, you may not want to admit it because, you know, pride gets in the way. I feel as though, you know, it's interesting because I do feel a duality here, which usually that's not how I feel about Aquarians at all. But I do feel, because of this, I feel a huge duality about, oh my God, I'm so bummed that this ended. But the duality of it all is that it was going nowhere. I just kept asking, you know, I was asking these questions about our future, and at every turn I was getting turned down. I was asking about plans. I was asking about more romance. I was hoping for more romance, more nights out to have fun. And I wasn't getting it. So I'm so sad that someone I really put my time and effort in here, 6, 7 months, maybe even up to years, it's like dwindled, or it dwindled. It like just faded. This relationship faded. It faded out into the darkness of the night. And you may not want to admit it because your pride gets in the way, but you know, you are controlling, some of you, or you were dealing with a control freak who wanted it their way or the highway as well. If I'm not mistaken, you were dealing with an Aries, Leo, and or Sag. I'm going to take another. Animal friendly. Someone had an animal that you took care of. You were like hands-on. Someone was also, maybe your person that you were in a relationship with had a dog or a cat or whatever, and you took care of the animal when they were at work or whatever. They made you feel as if they ran the show. Why? Because they like to brag. Oh yeah, Aquarius is all in with me because I am a control freak. Some of you felt as if you were the trophy, and they bragged about how much you did for them, and vice versa. And I'm sorry, because I kind of feel there's some grief going on here, that you wish things would have been different. 5 of Swords. You wish that you didn't argue as much, and that you would come to terms mentally strong together instead of apart. Like you fought about romance, going out. This person might not have wanted to go out. Maybe they're a homebody. You could have been dealing with an earth sign or a fire sign, where you could have had, let's just say off the cuff, it's a Taurus with an Aries moon. That person is very passive aggressive, very much in control, my way or the highway, not wanting to go anywhere because, you know, perhaps it was about they just didn't want to party as much on the outside. They wanted to stay home and make it, you know, their home is their sanctuary. So it was a continuous fight about where is this relationship headed. So someone felt like you were their trophy, or you felt you had the trophy, or you won, you know, you won the trophy, and or they did, or both of you did. And I feel like you really put a lot of, again, I will say it, you did put a lot of hard work and time into this relationship and or marriage. I don't feel it's a marriage though. I'm just going to say it. I feel you had that really deep connection with someone, and maybe the problem was it wasn't as deep as you thought it was. They didn't want the same things. The vision was clouded. So I am sorry, Aquarius, for those of you dealing with that. Because you can't convince someone to be something they're not. Okay, Pisces. Pisces. King of Pentacles. I love it. 5 of Cups. And the Magician. So, some of you are, what's the upset? Is it about money? Is it about a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn? I feel some of you have to, maybe you're taking money from your savings or from somewhere in order to make ends meet. What does that mean, right? What does that mean? We want to make ends meet, right? We want to balance and bring them into the middle. And I feel some of you are upset that I feel also an overwhelming upset about, just like, oh my God, I made some decisions that weren't for my highest good. I should have not spent so much money. So it's not like you don't have it, but maybe it's been very difficult because you've been giving so much of yourself. Let me look here. What's going on, Pisces? The Five of Cups is X1, 2, or 3. So, Pisces, if you've been out there dating and wanting something solid, okay, they're telling me your last 3 exes, you need to look at the 3 last exes significant. As I tell my clients always, look at your past 3 relationships and do a past life review on that relationship, whereby not just pros and cons. Well, let's say, put down the pros and cons, right? Of the last 3 relationships that you've had, okay? And then I want you to go down to mom and dad. I want you to put it underneath the 3 exes, and then underneath that, mom and dad. And their mom and dad. And then I want you to highlight, which I always tell my clients, highlight where the thread of commonality is, which could be loyalty, distrust. They're telling me who's frugal and or cheap, who spends money, who saves money. Who made the decisions, who didn't, who was passive aggressive, etc. Okay, so when you look back, all right, you've always wanted the King of Pentacles, let's say. A vision of your life was someone that was on your vibrational frequency, that was stable, financially viable, spiritually connected, intuitive, quite frankly, the treasures of life, looking for the treasures of life, right? And wanting to manifest that. Some of you are in the middle of doing so, but Spirit's saying you got to look at the threads of your last 3 exes first. Vibrational frequency alert. Got it? So that's why I say to my clients, it's time to look at all of that, put it on paper, highlight where are the threads tying into your life right now, where there's upset, where they didn't, we always say, oh my God, so-and-so had such potential. Potential doesn't make the grade, not unless the potential is yours. You must make the grade. You must be the love that you surround yourself with. We know that. And if you don't, then you do now. You represent a certain frequency. We are all energy. And the energy that you've been accepting has been less than what you want. And why is that? Because you've been settling into a thread of trauma, of wounds, of, okay, how did mom and dad treat each other? Am I accepting being passive? Am I accepting the control of someone else, under someone else's thumb? Why am I hearing Rolling Stones, under my thumb? That kind of stuff. Death. And some of you are mourning through death of someone who you really relied on. They were your solid, they were your person. So, okay, I'm so sorry, but I am going to say that some of you who are widowers, are widowed, whatever, are missing the person that stood by your side through thick and thin and could make anything out of nothing and would be your stability. They were your rock. And when you look at your exes and the person wasn't your ex that crossed over, you know that that choice that was made for you, as difficult as it sounds, people come and go. The energy of this soul, however, lives on. So some of you may be feeling that energy around you of a passed on loved one, a husband, a wife. I feel it's a husband. And then you look at the people that you dealt with prior to this person, and you're like, why did they have to go? You know, I had these exes go. I'm very fine with them not being on my wavelength, right? That's why they say wavelength. And then I have this person who I was my king, was my all. And they crossed over. And it is difficult to comprehend. However long we have someone in our lives, we do need to we need to live fully in every moment with everyone in our lives. And sometimes it's just too much. Okay. That was heavy, but it was really a very deep love. And your heart is still hurting. So I'm sorry. Not all of you, it was through death, but one of those 3 exes meant the world to you. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. The 7 stars in the Pleiades, the planetary aspects of the 7 sisters, is a cluster of stars which were created, like I mentioned in the beginning, by God. And also the cluster represents our tribe. So it's time for us all to find our tribe. It's time to only allow people in our lives who resonate on our wavelength. All right, take care. Have a great week. I'm here for you. I love you guys.